And we're joined now by the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Devin Nunes. Mr. Chairman, thank you for joining us.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here.
Let's start with Yemen. Why is Yemen so important in the war against terrorism?
Well, the proximity that it holds to the entrance to the Suez Canal is why it's geographically such an important place. But let's also remember that you have a country that's essentially geographically very difficult. High mountains in the north, Houthis that are Shiites being supported by Iran, Al-Qaeda kind of everywhere into the west, and then or to the east, and then you have the remnants of whatever's left of the government, which I believe the Saudis and UAE and other allies of ours are trying to support. And it's going to be a long, drawn-out civil war there.
And Al-Qaeda that's there, though, the U.S. drone strike killed the number 2 in Al-Qaeda there. There's also the bomb maker of Al-Qaeda who is there in terms of a central place for the growth of Al-Qaeda.
Well, AQAP has long been one of the #1 high-value targets of our intelligence services and our military. And thankfully, we were successful with our counterterrorism operations this week.
I want to ask you about that. There seemed to be some confusion about who the drones had hit. This is not the first time that has happened. Why is the intelligence so fuzzy?
Well, what you have to remember, we don't have an embassy there. It was amazing that your reporter could get into there. So our embassy has been evacuated. So it's tough to really know who we can trust. So my guess is that it just took time to get the information out of Yemen so that we could, in fact, confirm that these guys have been killed.
That's what's happening in Yemen. Let's turn to what's happening in the United States. There have been more arrests of people who are ISIS sympathizers or would like to be a part of ISIS. What's the nature of that threat?
Well, we face the highest threat level we have ever faced in this country today.
Including after 9/11?
Including after 9/11. And there's a couple reasons why. One is the flow of fighters that have went from Europe and other Western countries like the United States to fight in Iraq and Syria who have now come out. We don't know all the people who have went in, nor do we know the people who have been back and are now on the streets in the United States. The FBI director said there are cases open in 50 states. The second and probably more important fact is that on the internet, young people are being radicalized here in the United States. So you saw the attack in Boston, you saw the attack in Texas. And when you're beginning to go into encrypted chat rooms to where even investigations do no good. So it is critical that the American people, when they see something that looks suspicious, they need to get it to the proper authorities because we are having a tough time tracking terrorist cells within the United States.
You talk about the level of the threat. July 4th is coming up. Some people have talked about that date. What's the association between the level of the threat and the coming holiday?
Well, clearly July 4th is a day that Americans celebrate as our Independence Day. Lots of people, even here in our nation's capital, there will be thousands and thousands of people out to watch the fireworks, and then this will happen in every city, every community across America. So it's just tough to secure those types of areas if you have someone who wants to blow themselves up or open fire or other threats of that nature. And we just don't know or can track all of the bad guys that are out there today.
You mentioned social media. There was a report this week. The State Department's frustrated with its social media response to the ISIS social media. In your view, what is the solution? I mean, is it better tweets or is it going and attacking the people who are sending out the social media messages from ISIS?
Well, radical jihadists have gotten better. So they went from Al-Qaeda to now, the leaders of Al-Qaeda now formed ISIS. And they're very good now at communicating in English. And they're very good at communicating through separate avenues to where it's very difficult to track. And so that's why when you get a young person who is willing to get into these chat rooms, go on the internet and get radicalized, it's something that we are not only unprepared, we're just not used to it in this country.
How do we fix it?
I think it's going to be very difficult. I mean, number one, we have to have a long-term strategy to defeat radical jihadism that is spreading all over the globe, especially in the Middle East and North Africa.
The final question about Charleston, the massacre there. Was it terrorism?
Well, it could be domestic terrorism. When you look at, clearly it was a hate crime from my book, and clearly racism. You have to leave it up to the prosecutors for the legal definition of how this guy will be charged. At a minimum, he's going to serve life in prison and possibly receive the death penalty.
But leaving aside the legal just as a regular person looking at this, what should
I
a
think
regular
you
person
easily call it domestic terrorism. I mean, if somebody, just from a layman's point of view, I don't know about it from a legal point of view.
Absolutely. Mr. Chairman, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with our panel.